Hey YouTube, welcome back. We were playing hardcore a moment ago, and it was a lot of fun, and we're dead. So I want to talk about the build we were playing, because this is a good time to pause and talk about the build that we were playing. I think this Reflect Thorns AoE walking simulator build is fucking crazy. I think it's really good. You can die. I actually kind of felt squishy the whole time. But let's talk about it for just a moment here, now that we're dead. It's so fast. Holy moly, it's so fast. There's a couple interesting things to talk about when it comes to the relic slot and some technology about how to juice up bonus damage. We could also talk about things like going druid or going for what's the other druid? Druid or Shaman, which is what we chose. So some good topics of conversation. But if you haven't seen this build in practice, I guess we're in softcore right now. Let's go kill some stuff real quick so you can see what's going on. Are we at 100? Oh, okay, so it's still 350 or whatever. Let's go here. Monster res shouldn't matter because Reflect bypasses all that kind of nonsense. Oh, can I turn my... I need my girlfriend. Where is she? Where's girlfriend at? Boop, boop. If you want to make your rage better, you can always snapshot your build, which is unethical, so don't do it. Boop. So here's the walking simulator build. We have a little bit of flat reflect damage. We don't need to cast Thorn Shield, but it's nice to cast it every once in a while because it does put a little healing buffer on you. It cleanses you, and it also juices up your damage. So it's basically the entire screen. As long as any monster looks at you, they die. Monsters that are tanky take 1 second to kill. Monsters that aren't tanky instantly die. This was my experience playing the character. As soon as I put on the chest piece and had no scaling for it. But then, of course, when you start scaling it, it just keeps getting better and better. So I'm going to walk over there in a moment and loot, because I think the loot's important. We can talk about what I was doing in COF in order to juice up the character. Because we are scaling Reflect, and Reflect means that we care about the 1x1 idols. So we'll go over here. There. This one. 1, 2. So I'm going to portal out. These Reflect idols have how much? 56. They go to, yeah, 50 to 150. So the good ones are like miles better. I'll take out this vitality and put some more reflect in. So we basically want 20 of the reflect idols, which is unsurprising for anyone who's played like a reflect scaling build in the past. So you kind of see what the build looks like in action. I can go just real quick. I've got no keys. I can't do nothing, coach. Can I go over here? Can I go Temporal Sanctum? I guess I can kill a boss, right? How do you kill bosses? I can kill this. This is a boss. Okay, let's go kill a boss for you. There. So I've got 10 stacks down here, and then I guess my damage reflected is what, 78, 80k, and it deals that damage twice a second, right? So twice a second it'll hit for 100k, and it's 100k that's not mitigated by armor or resistance. Or damage reduction, right? It's just like damage. So he's gonna look at me. And then he dies. Beep boop beep boop beep boop beep boop beep boop beep boop beep boop. Alright, so that's what our build is on single target stuff. People have told me that they literally have one-shotted tier 4 Jewelra. I don't know if you can literally do it. Maybe you can literally do it, but you can literally one-shot tier 3 Jewelra, so I don't know why you wouldn't be able to one-shot tier 4. Pretty crazy build. I'll show you a build planner as well, but basically just like the body armor by itself is completely nuts. But body armor, I went for life on it because I was playing hardcore. I wanted like a little bit more of a buffer, even though we did die. But it's just like Hazel Root allows you to build cast speed. So we're not doing Twisted Heart, cold conversion stuff because we want to be a physical skill. Hazel Root cast speed and Thorn Shell with a bit of flat damage on it. If I wanted to be tankier, I guess you can go like block chance instead, because like it's only 450 And like you have a lot of flat reflect coming in from all these things here. I guess this one is just fizz res right now, which I don't need. So that's about it. This allows us to scale flat damage in a big AoE, the entire screen. This thing tells us that we should build attunement. So this particular build has 96 attunement. Ideally, you'd be a red ring build as well. And then this thing says build cast speed. So I guess that's the build. The gloves have attunement on them. So then you put like cast speed, life, attunement, hybrid life, those kinds of things on this. The fizz res scaling of thicket, I think, is debate. I think you just don't go for any fizz res scaling. Just have enough to cover and then don't worry about it. For a single target scenario, you could drop into the all attribute boots and have more attunement in that way. But having double movement speed is like completely nuts. Like you saw how much movement speed we had here. Let's see. Can I have haste at some point? Oh, and then I need to hit things. So we have 90 here. 190, 120, and then if we hit things, we get another 40. It's like we have 130 movement speed on Spriggan Form, which feels pretty good. Yeah. Let's go to the Divine Era and go punch things over here for just a moment as well. And as we do that, I'll bring up the build planner. We were trying to figure out like what's a good place to like recommend, like go look at this, go brainstorm it. Here's the kind of build you can play. The build planner honestly kind of puts itself together all by itself. Like it's a reflect build, so you use the reflect items. It's an attunement stacker, so you use a red ring. It's a Spriggan Form build, so you toss in a Silver Frond because you like to have a movement skill. The interesting portion of this to me is what you do with your relic slot, and also kind of what you use with your last skill, because Spriggan Form really doesn't get that much access to other skills, which is kind of a downfall. I wish they changed that in some capacity, but having Storm Totem as a Shaman feels pretty cool. That's what we were doing for movement speed. If you were a Druid, you could multi-form into Werebear and use Rampage, just like run through a mono. I've heard of people doing that. I saw somebody spec Entangling Roots, which would only ever do things if you were stunned. With this node down here somewhere. There's a stun node somewhere. I don't know where it is. It's like cast. Where's the stun? ST. Come on. STUN. Where is it? This thing? Yeah, Entangling Roots, cast when stunned. Trigger cooldown, 20 seconds. Yeah, so technically you can make use of that, but, you know. In terms of relics, which I think is the most interesting and maybe the only interesting part of the build, you can Storm Carved, which is a good choice because as a Shaman, it gives you access to movement speed. It has attunement on it. It's got some fizz res, which might be relevant for you. It gives you a tiny bit of flat reflect. And you can farm it up pretty well. So 1 LP guaranteed, 2 LP, you can farm it up maybe. Storm Carved is a good one. A Twisted Heart, even though you're not making use of the necrotic or elemental conversion bit, it still has strength, cast speed, and % health. So it seems like a really good choice as well. For the spicy options, this like beekeeper nest, Amarathi was the one in chat who pointed this out, that every time that you're casting your Thorn Shield, it'll cast on a bee as well. And that isn't so interesting by itself, except the fact that you have this node, which is, it has a chance to recast on the same target when it expires. So when the recast happens, it recasts on your character, I guess. So let's go. Oh, I've got no loot. Oh, because I just died. Okay, so I can't even show that off. It's fine. Actually, you know what? I actually can show that off because Barbed Thicket, 1 point in Barbed Thicket has the same kind of interaction, doesn't it? It has the same interaction as the bees do. And the reason that it's interesting that we're talking about this is like your relic is either going to have like tier 7 attunement and cast speed, or T7 cast speed and attunement. I think attunement's the right choice for tier 7. But if you want more points in a Barbed Thicket, which might be the right play, then maybe... How does it take damage? Oh, so there's no damage number for this thing. Does it take reflect damage? Like, I see the health bar moving, but is that the reflect? I feel like my reflect damage is way bigger than that. Does this thing take reflect? I feel like my reflect damage should be much bigger than that. Maybe this thing doesn't work on totems, on the DPS dummies. Possibility. Okay, so what's the TLDR of this? The TLDR is that I've had people in Twitch chat telling me that this is good for 1,000 corruption as well. I've heard people say that this can one-shot tier 4 Jewel Orb because you're stacking up all your reflect stuff ahead of time. The AoE where the enemies have to look at you is like quite literally the entire screen. Can I play it again? I kind of want to play it again. I might just go play it again. What an absolutely crazy item. It might be over. Is it bugged or is it overtuned? Tune in for this episode of Bugged or Overtuned. The last thing to say about this before we call it quits and go re-roll another character in hardcore is remember Orbit Static Orb? Those of you whose backs hurt when you wake up in the morning because you remember Orbit Static Orb. Orbit Static Orb was nerfed and like quite literally removed from the game because it was too fast. And that sticks with me every day when I think about builds like this that are just like the most walking simulator of walking simulator that I've ever seen. Look what they took from us. We could be playing Orbit Static Orb right now, couldn't we? We're gonna go play some more hardcore. I've been enjoying it. If I could go back and do it all again, I would play online instead of offline. I think offline is like... Imagine playing offline. The big downfall of offline is like when Twitch chat, if you type in like !point profile, it brings up my like lastdebuggtools.com/profile/pair of the pig thing, which like people can browse through all my characters. And as a content creator, I value that. I think it's really easy to be able to share builds like that with like exports. I can like export your characters, see what exactly is going on. Not having access to that particular piece of technology while playing in offline, like totally not worthwhile. I should have played online. Oh well. Let's go make a new character. I'll see you next time.